Morton Collision is located at 1320 West Pine Street in Jesup. Morton's offers free estimates, 23-hour towing, and they guarantee their work. Call 427-3769 or after hours 912-294-6140. The staff at Morton Collision Center works with all insurance companies. So for guaranteed work with a qualified staff, go to Morton Collision at 1320 West Pine Street in Jesup. Morton Collision, quality you can see.
Saturday, February 25th, Big Dog Country WIFO presents The John Conley Show. John Conley. Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. at Coastal Pines Technical College in Jesup. I'm just a common man, the John Conley Show. Tickets available locally at Sears, online at www.itickets.com, or by calling 800-965-9324. Don't miss John Conley, Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. at Coastal Pines Technical College in Jesup. Local news on WIFO.
It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, the case of State of Georgia versus Robert Donald Rogers is expected to end sometime today with closing arguments set this afternoon. Then the jury will determine the fate of the defendant, 42-year-old Rogers, who is charged with the March 26, 2016 shooting death of Richard Trantham, who was shot in the back on this evening and was found dead on his back porch of his trailer located at 1069 Sawmill Road in Caeville, Georgia. Second suspect, Andy O'Quinn, is currently in jail, testified in the case, stating that he has accepted a plea deal for conspiracy to commit murder. He will receive a sentence of 10 years, 5 to serve in prison. State's case is that Andy O'Quinn picked Rogers up that evening at the Caeville store, drove him to Trantham's residence, where the state says Rogers shot and killed Trantham, and then both left the scene, Rogers on foot and O'Quinn in his vehicle. But it was O'Quinn who lured Trantham out of his trailer so Rogers could shoot and kill Richard Trantham. The lead agent in the case is Richard Dial of the GBI. He spent most of Tuesday on the witness stand as he interviewed the defendant after his arrest at the Wayne County Sheriff's Department back on March 29th, around 4:30, 3 days after the murder occurred. In that interview, Rogers first denies even in the area, claiming he was home alone on the night in question. But Dial shows Rogers a photograph of Rogers inside the Caeville store that night with camouflage attire, tells him he has a video of him getting into Andy O'Quinn's vehicle, also has a video of Rogers showing up hours later coming out of a wooded area near the Caeville store and getting back into his vehicle that he left parked at the store. Rogers then changes his story, admits to shooting Trantham that night, but Rogers insists that he went to the Trantham's trailer just to scare him, and he intended to shoot at the porch light, but missed and struck Trantham. Agent Dow tells Rogers that he knows that he shot and killed Trantham. He simply wants to know the reason why, and that Andy O'Quinn has already given Rogers up, and told Agent Dow that he drove Rogers to Trantham's that night. Dow was heard telling Rogers on the taped interview, quote, "I've got you there. It's done. You killed a man. Did you just assassinate him, or is there another reason why you shot him?" End quote. Rogers says that he simply intended to scare Trantham, that Trantham had robbed Rogers 3 months ago of $2,000 and some stereo equipment. And he found out a month later that it was Trantham who stole his items, and he says for 2 months that's what he thought about, and he intended to do something about it to get even. He says after he shot Trantham, he got scared, ran around the woods for about an hour, got lost, ditched the gun in the woods, and finally found his way back to the Caeville store. Agent Dow asked Rogers if he is sorry that he shot Trantham, to which Rogers says yes, that it was the first time he shot a rifle rather than being at turkey shoots. Rogers tells the agent that he was mad at Trantham for invading his home and stealing his stuff. Agent Dow wants to know who brought the gun, and he says the video shows Rogers at the store putting something into Andy O'Quinn's vehicle, but Rogers insists that all he put into the vehicle were some cigarettes and a lighter, no gun. Dow says, well, the gun had to be either in the vehicle or already in the wooded area where you used it to shoot Trantham. Rogers says he simply borrowed a gun from Andy O'Quinn. Agent Dow testified that after interviewing Rogers, that he and other officers and a trained dog went out into the area, found footsteps that show a pattern consistent with what Rogers told them, but it had rained and they could not determine style of shoe or foot size, and they never found a gun. Under cross-examination of Agent Dow, defense attorney Grayson Lane asked Dow, "You kind of confronted my client with information you stated you already knew, but I asked you, did you believe what Andy O'Quinn testified in court to?" That brought an objection from Assistant DA John B. Johnson, who stated to the court that it's the jury's duty to believe or not believe Andy O'Quinn's testimony. Grayson Lane asked Agent Dow, "Did you ever find a gun used in the shooting?" Dow answered no, and Lane asked the agent, "Why didn't you attempt to get the gun fragments from the wall at the porch? Didn't you think that would be helpful to determine what type of weapon was used in this murder?" Lane says My client was telling you in the interview that he didn't intend to kill anyone. Did you ever determine what was Andy O'Quinn's purpose in this? Lane asked again. Agent Dow, you asked my client if he was sorry that Trantham was shot and killed, didn't you? Agent Dow says yes. And Lane says he told you that he felt sorry for what he did and he didn't mean to shoot anyone. Isn't that right? Agent Dow also in his testimony confirmed all the phone calls and text messages that went on that evening between the defendant Rogers and Andy O'Quinn, and also a lady named Dana Fawcett, also known as Mama Dukes. State believes she plays a part in this, as Richard Trantham's brother David Trantham testified on Tuesday for the state. David Trantham says he and his brother were extremely close. David Trantham, 35, his brother Richard Trantham, the victim, aged 30 at the time he was shot and killed. David Trantham testified, says he knew his brother had a drug problem and was selling drugs and using drugs, but he told the jury that his brother told him 3 months before he was killed that he feared for his life because he stole money from Mama Dukes. And David Trantham says his brother says she was a drug dealer and she put a hit out on him and told him that he better get out of town. And David Trantham says that his brother was making arrangements to leave Wayne County the time he was killed. Defense attorney Grayson Lane objected to this line of questioning by the state, saying that it's hearsay, and quoted several case law, but Assistant DA John B. Johnson stated case law as well, and says it is admissible, and Judge Roger Lane agreed with the state and allowed the testimony in. Dana Fawcett testified in the case on Monday. She simply told the jury that she and the defendant were very good friends, that Rogers had done a lot of work for her at her residence, and she would always feed him while he worked for her. There's a phone call from Rogers to Fawcett around 1 a.m. after the night of the killing, but Fawcett says it was normal for her and Rogers to talk at all times of day and night if he needed to talk to her. And the trial ended abruptly on Tuesday afternoon as one of the jurors became ill in the jury box and was eventually taken to Wayne Memorial Hospital. Both the defense and the state would like her to be able to continue this morning, but they had no status late yesterday afternoon. It will make will make a decision on her status as a juror this morning. If she's unable to continue, the jury box is down to just 12 jurors, as both alternates will now have to be used to finish the trial, which leaves little room for error. If one more juror has to be excused for any reason, the trial will have to start completely over with a different jury. One juror during Tuesday sent a judge a note with 2 questions about evidence in the case, and Judge Roger Lane had to explain to all jurors that jurors are not allowed to ask questions during a trial in the state of Georgia, and instructed them to simply listen to the evidence presented from the witness stand. Again, WIFO film will continue to follow the trial today. Again, closing arguments should be held sometime this afternoon. Jury will begin deliberations after that. They could be held late tonight or come back and continue deliberations on Thursday. All that to be determined when they reach that point by the attorneys and Judge Roger Lane, who's presiding on the bench this week over the trial. Once again, the defendant, Robbie Donald Rogers, is on trial charged with murder in the shooting death of Robert Trantham. It occurred here in Wayne County on March 26, 2016 at Trantham's trailer in Kayville, Georgia. Again, second suspect, Andy O'Quinn, testifying in this case, accepting a plea deal to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit murder. He'll receive 10 years, 5 to serve, already serving time that he'll be given credit for time served. Again, if a verdict is reached today, we'll have the full report for you tomorrow. Either way, we'll have a report on the trial for you tomorrow here on the local news. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor and other commercial messages, so please stay tuned.
Communication is the key when it comes to business, especially your financial business. That's why Altamaha Federal Credit Union makes communication a priority, making banking easier for you. AFCU has money to lend, and it's easy to apply online or with a quick phone call. Your local credit union with open lines of communication. Altamaha Federal Credit Union, Jesup, Scriven, and Ludowici. Visit altamaha.org. Equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA.
Morton Collision is located at 1320 West Pine Street in Jesup. Morton's offers free estimates, 23-hour towing, and they guarantee their work. Call 427-3769 or after hours 912-294-6140. The staff at Morton Collision Center works with all insurance companies. So for guaranteed work with a qualified staff, go to Morton Collision at 1320 West Pine Street in Jesup. Morton Collision, quality you can see.
When further treatment is no longer an option, hospice can provide services to manage symptoms and difficulties caused by illness. Emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual care, as well as support to the families and caregivers, are all part of hospice care. Hospice of South Georgia has been a part of the health community in Wayne and surrounding counties for over 13 years. The professional yet compassionate attention provided by our staff is unsurpassed. Widely supported by donations from the local population, Hospice of South Georgia is the only nonprofit hospice in Wayne County. Our new administrative offices, located at 1625 Sunset Boulevard, have opened recently as Phase 1 of our building project. Hospice of South Georgia accepts anyone who meets hospice criteria, regardless of their ability to pay. Please call 912-588-0080 to speak to someone about hospice care. That was 912-588-0080. We are your hometown hospice, and we are here to serve you. Hospice of South Georgia, working to add life to your days.
Wayne County Chamber of Commerce held its official ribbon cutting yesterday at their new location at 261 West Plum Street, as they're now under the same roof of the Industrial Development Authority. Both agencies are in the same building, working for the betterment of Wayne County. Chamber Director is Christy Carter. She talked about the big turnout for the event yesterday.
Today was fabulous. The turnout, big turnout here. We're very excited to see the community support us and all of our business community members. Special thanks to the Chamber Industrial or the Industrial Development Authority for being a strategic partner with us. We're very excited to be under the same roof, like a one-stop shop, like I've mentioned once before, Bob. It's where folks can come to the area, make a pitch here. Dale can pitch the area here, and they like to see how the business community actually works really well with industries coming into the area. It also plays an important part with education and everything else that we do in all our program of work. It's all a big conglomeration of everybody working together to just better Wayne County and bring in more businesses here. So we're excited about this turnout today.
It's a big, spacious building. Again, a lot of rooms, but again, I mentioned both entities now under the same roof, and that should help.
Yes, it should help. We actually have an extra spare office. We have someone now who's an assistant to myself, and we're hoping to grow the chamber and fill that office, let her move over and get someone in the front desk area. So we anticipate growing, and membership's picking up, and a lot of member engagement, and lots of folks are wanting to be a part of something exciting that's happening in Wayne County, and it's definitely here at the chamber.
Well, the Chamber's always got big events. What's the next big event coming up?
We are working on our annual Taste of Wayne. I believe it's the 8th annual Taste of Wayne this year. It's March 2nd on Thursday. I believe it starts around 7 o'clock. It'll be my first one attending, and tickets are $50. We're seeking sponsorships right now through Friday to make marketing material, and if you're interested, please let us know by Friday. Otherwise, you'll miss that marketing material, and it won't get printed. Like, you won't get the best bang for your buck, to say, so do let us know early, and we might be calling you for some silent auction items. We're seeking those because the more items we have, the better it is for everybody. We'll have live music, a lot of neat things, a lot of different things this year, so there'll be some stuff up our sleeve.
Okay, Christy, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, those comments, Chamber Director Christy Carter. We'll be back with the final news note after this word from our sponsor of the commercial messages, so please stay tuned.
Communication is the key when it comes to business, especially your financial business. That's why Altamaha Federal Credit Union makes communication a priority, making banking easier for you. AFCU has money to lend, and it's easy to apply online or with a quick phone call. Your local credit union with open lines of communication. Altamaha Federal Credit Union. Jesup, Scriven, and Ludowici. Visit altamaha.org. Equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA.
Piggly Wiggly Jesup is running a special this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Special 1, fresh whole chicken, 79 cents a pound. Special 2, fresh cooked rotisserie chickens, all flavors, $3.99 each. This Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday only. Tell Piggly Wiggly you heard about these specials on Big Dog Country and walk away with these great low prices. Fresh whole chicken, 79 cents a pound. Fresh cooked rotisserie chickens, all flavors, $3.99 each. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday only at your Jesup Piggly Wiggly. Where will you be for Super Bowl 51? Watching the game on an old black and white television and eating frozen pizza? No, you'll be enjoying the Big Dog Super Bowl Party Package. Register today at your Jesup Western Sizzlin' on Sunset Boulevard, Vans Auto Mart, and Eagle Pawn Shop on Highway 301 North, Hurricane's Convenience Store at the corner of Highway 84 and Joey Williamson, Sybil's Family Restaurant, and your Jesup Piggly Wiggly. Then on Sunday, February 5th, you'll be enjoying the Super Bowl with prizes from all our sponsors. Your Jesup Western Sizzlin', Vans Auto Mart, Eagle Pawn Shop, Hurricane's Convenience Store and Restaurant, your Jesup Piggly Wiggly, and Sybil's Family Restaurant. Proud sponsors of the NFL from Westwood One on WIFO.
Final note in the news: last week during the murder trial, Wayne County testimony revealed that the drug trades run by prisoners in prison. On Monday, down in Brunswick, Georgia, a man serving time on a kidnapping charge pled guilty Monday to running a drug trafficking organization out of a Georgia prison. That from the U.S. Attorney. 46-year-old Daniel Roger Allo pled guilty before Chief U.S. District Judge Lisa Godby Wood. He and 15 other defendants were indicted on a 25-count federal indictment in September on charges of using drones to fly cell phones to inmates at Calhoun State Prison in Morgan, Georgia. Allo formed a drug trafficking organization made up of gang members inside and outside prison, including members from the Ghostface Gangsters, the Bloods, the Gangster Disciples, and individuals with ties to Mexican cartels. That from U.S. Attorney Edward Tarver in a prepared statement. Tarver says using the cell phones, Allo directed conspirators on the outside to distribute pounds of crystal methamphetamine in Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, and elsewhere in the southeastern United States. Court documents showed the conspirators used green DOT prepaid cards in Western Union to transfer money to buy drugs to transfer the profits from illegal sales. The early money man for the organization was Ronnie Music, a Waycross man who won $3 million from the Georgia lottery and invested some of his winnings in the methamphetamine trade. Music co-conspirators were caught in September 2015 trying to sell 11 pounds of meth that he supplied. Music was arrested a month later with 4 pounds of meth and $22,000 in cash, $5,000 of which was money an informer gave him for a pound of the drug. In 2014, agents seized nearly 11 pounds of meth, more than 10 firearms, and $600,000 from some of Allo's conspirators during a sting operation in Brunswick, Georgia. Music pleaded guilty in August to a separate conspiracy indictment. He and Allo will be sentenced at a later date. Allo faces 5 to 40 years in prison. Agent Tarver says the case is an example of the challenges law enforcement officers face in fighting illegal drugs. Tarver says Allo used readily available technology, drones, and cell phones to continue substantial criminal behavior, even while confined in a secure state prison. Tarver says it's necessary and appropriate Allo's next step to be federal prison. The case against Music or Allo or both included a huge network of federal, state, and local officers, the ATF, the DEA, the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, the GBI, the Glen Brunswick Narcotics Enforcement Team, the Wayne, Ware, and Glenn County Sheriff's Offices, the Glen Police Department, the Harrelson Paulding Drug Task Force, and the Virginia State Police all participated in this investigation. That's going to do it for the latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan saying have a great day.
You've been listening to local news on WIFO.
Hello, my name is Chad Neesmith from Neesmith Chevrolet Buick GMC of Jesup. At Neesmith, we have the biggest inventory of new and used vehicles around. We also have the best prices guaranteed. We know everyone wants to